Extreme Productivity by Robert C. Pozen offers a refreshing take on how to reclaim your time and become more efficient without needing superhuman powers or an endless supply of hours. It's about unlocking the potential that already lies within you by making smarter choices about how you handle your day. Introduction. The Time Paradox. Have you ever felt like time slips through your fingers like sand in an hourglass? You start the day with a long to-do list, but by the end, it seems like nothing got done. Pozen challenges us with a sobering question. Is it that we don't have enough time, or are we just not using the time we have effectively? His book suggests the latter and offers a roadmap to unlock extreme productivity by being more strategic about how we approach our tasks. Chapter 1. Prioritization. The Compass of Productivity. Imagine standing in a vast forest, surrounded by countless trees representing your tasks, goals, and responsibilities. You could wander aimlessly, overwhelmed by the sheer number of things demanding your attention. Pozen argues that the first step to extreme productivity is pulling out your mental compass and deciding which direction to go. This compass is prioritization. Instead of drowning in planners and to-do lists, Pozen suggests dividing tasks into 3 categories: aims, objectives, and targets. Picture this. Your aims are like the towering mountains in the distance. Your long-term goals, the ones that guide your overall direction in life. Objectives are the waypoints along your journey, mid-term goals that bring you closer to those mountains. Finally, targets are the little rocks and streams directly in front of you, the short-term tasks that you need to tackle today or tomorrow. By categorizing and mapping out these different layers of tasks, you can chart a clear path through the forest. Each day becomes a step forward toward those mountains, rather than an exhausting battle against an endless to-do list. Chapter 3. If it's worth doing badly. The common phrase, do it right or don't do it at all, can sometimes trap us in the sticky web of perfectionism. Pozen offers an antidote with a surprising mantra: if a task is worth doing, it's worth doing badly. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity, but rather freeing yourself from the paralysis of perfectionism. Imagine trying to paint a masterpiece and never starting because you're too afraid of making the first brushstroke wrong. Pozen argues that just getting the job done, even if it's not perfect, is better than doing nothing at all. You can always refine your work later, but the key is to take action. Inbox, trying to find the email again. You'll tell yourself that you'll get to it this weekend, and then somehow that weekend will come and go. Before you know it, months will have passed, and now you're too embarrassed to reply at all. In the end, you've wasted your friend's time, your own time, and caused unnecessary stress. That's why the Ohio principle is so effective. If you handle it once and get it done, you save time and mental energy. Instead of letting tasks pile up and become overwhelming, dealing with them as soon as they appear allows you to stay ahead. So the next time you receive a request that needs action, either do it immediately or decide how you will handle it and move on. If you can answer a quick email or review something without having to delay it, you'll avoid the dreaded task pile-up and keep your schedule clear for more important objectives. Chapter 4. Don't multitask. Focus on one thing at a time. Multitasking is a modern myth. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel like we should be juggling multiple tasks at once to stay productive. But Robert Pozen argues that multitasking is actually one of the worst things you can do for productivity. Why? Because trying to do everything at once results in doing everything poorly. When you divide your attention across multiple tasks, none of them get the focus they deserve, and you end up wasting more time and energy than if you had tackled each one individually. Pozen highlights research showing that our brains aren't wired to multitask effectively. When we switch between tasks, we experience what's called task switching cost. This refers to the mental lag that happens every time we move from one activity to another. Whether you're switching between answering emails and writing a report or talking on the phone while working on a project, every time you shift your focus, you lose momentum, and it takes time to regain it. These tiny delays add up, slowing your overall productivity. Instead of multitasking, Pozen suggests practicing sequential tasking. This means focusing on one task at a time, giving it your full attention, and completing it before moving on to the next. By doing this, you'll finish each task more efficiently and with better quality, saving time in the long run. So rather than bouncing between tasks and letting interruptions derail you, make a conscious effort to dedicate chunks of time to individual activities. This focused approach can lead to much higher productivity levels than trying to handle everything at once. Chapter 5. Work smarter, not longer. Working long hours doesn't automatically translate to being productive. In fact, the idea that more time spent working equals better results is a misconception. Pozen emphasizes that it's not about how much time you put in, but about how effectively you use that time. Rather than burning yourself out with endless workdays, it's more important to focus on high-value activities that yield the best results. Pozen advises identifying your most productive hours and structuring your day around them. For example, some people are at their peak performance in the early morning, while others are more focused in the afternoon. By aligning your most challenging and important tasks with your peak energy periods, you can maximize your efficiency. This principle ties back to the importance of prioritization, as you should aim to dedicate your most valuable hours to the tasks that will have the biggest impact on your goals. Additionally, Pozen argues that you should adopt a results-oriented mindset. Instead of focusing on the time spent working, measure your productivity based on the results you achieve. This means evaluating whether you're completing high-quality work that moves you closer to your goals, rather than just checking items off your to-do list. When you focus on outcomes rather than hours, you'll naturally begin to work smarter, eliminating unnecessary tasks and finding faster ways to accomplish your objectives. Conclusion: take control of your time. In Extreme Productivity, Robert Pozen provides a roadmap for making the most of your time by prioritizing, avoiding procrastination, focusing on one task at a time, and working smarter, not longer. The key takeaway is that anyone can be extremely productive if they use their time intentionally and efficiently. Remember, productivity isn't about being busy all the time or working non-stop. It's about focusing on the tasks that matter most, getting rid of distractions, and structuring your day in a way that helps you achieve your goals. By applying these principles, you can boost your productivity and make the most of the time you have.